Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Philippe Colpron, member of the global executive team of ZF Friedrichshafen and head of ZF Aftermarket.
Good morning, good afternoon, good lunchtime for people which are with us today in Frankfurt at Automechanika at the Forum, and also welcome to the people which are following us on LinkedIn live stream. I'm very happy and I'm very honored to be back here today at Automechanika. First time in 4 years that we can be face to face with our customers, with our partners from all around the world. I'm thrilled to see people that have traveled so much distance in order to be together this week. It's been some challenging years. I think we all went through significant changes along the last years on personal level. I think we all figured out what it means to go into new kind of personal sacrifice, confinement, threats in terms of health, and also the geopolitical situation that have arisen. And we have seen as well how many of those trends have affected the mobility evolution. We can talk about the need for sustainability, and most recently also the scarcity of some resources that just accelerate the trends that we will be speaking about today. Not just in terms of electrification, for example, but also through the digitization and the advancement of autonomous, because drivers will also become a scarce resources in the future of transportation. And last but not least, the changes that means for the aftermarket. With our personal lives that got more virtual, more digitized, and this change in the technologies of the vehicles, clearly we see changes also that affect this aftermarket industry through our network, our customers, but also in terms of what does it mean to servitize the business of tomorrow and make sure we continue having profitable business models. So today we will be speaking about that. We're very proud to see how over 1 year, last time we had a dialogue together, we could bring solutions that we will unveil behind this curtain to you. A solution that can bring solution for our partners, whether it's workshop, installers, fleet, distributors, wholesalers, in terms of making sure you can servitize that business. We're very proud at ZF to be strongly connected between the aftermarket and our OE divisions to make sure not only we enable the latest technologies into the field, but also that we can have the collaboration to ensure we can design the servitization of tomorrow, and making sure that we can also advance the know-how to our partners to be ready, because let's face it, we need to do it together with our partners of the industry. So I was talking about last year, I mentioned the changes of the industry with cases, connected, autonomous, shared, electrified, sustainable. Well, 1 year down the road, I want to share with you some solutions, some concrete solutions that we deal at ZF Aftermarket on a day-by-day. Let's start with connected. When you're talking about connected, it is important to not just speak of the technology, but to speak of the value we can create for mobility society, the value we can create for fleets, either in terms of greener transportation, better total cost of ownership, and ultimately best customer satisfaction, right? So we're very happy to leverage 35 years of experience we have in fleet management solutions and expand that to the reality of today and preparing for tomorrow. As a sneak preview, here at Automechanika, we can tell you what we will announce next week at IAA Hanover, where we will unveil ZF Scaler, which is the latest evolution on the cloud of our fleet management solutions that enable better connectivity through the ecosystem partners and also enabling the latest functions, for example, artificial intelligence that can help and support fleet operators to start automating the orchestration of their vehicles live on the field. And we need to use that as well, clearly, for the servitization of the aftermarket. I think our world-famous bus transmissions now can be connected with our Bus Connect that enables solutions for the workshop, for the fleets, of remote servitization of the product, thanks to a combination of know-how of servitization with the information that you can have over the air. Going to autonomous, I think you know the increase of cameras, radars, ADAS functionalities that we can have onto the vehicles, which can be a threat in some of the independent workshop because it can mean for them, oh, will I start losing, the service of the vehicle, but can also be an opportunity. Lots of value there, more regular calibrations, and we see as our responsibility as well to accompany those independent workshops with the right trainings through our academy, bringing the know-how to the mechanics to be able to do a business out of the technologies of tomorrow. We're also very proud to be in the nominations of the Innovation Award on the turning assistance systems for commercial vehicles, where we can have retrofit solutions on vehicles of today to face some of the safety issues that our cities have. Blind spots, urban blind spots for heavy vehicles is something of a concern, and with the increase of micromobility, cyclists, pedestrians on the road, we're happy to introduce that retrofit solution that can give acoustic and visual aid to the drivers in terms of managing this turning assist. Last but not least, you see behind me the autonomous shuttle from ZF. I think we're very privileged to be in a company that is working to have, to be first movers in these kind of vehicles. We're bringing those products into the market now. In the next shows, you will see the evolution of the technologies. Actually, you can see most of it in the room next door. And where, more than ever, the aftermarket works hand in hand with advanced engineering, because you can only bring such solutions in the market by making sure the full life cycle management is covered for the customers. And this is a great opportunity because, number one, we can learn what does it mean to manage preventive, predictive maintenance of a vehicle that does not have a driver, which is a great opportunity in terms of know-how, but also in terms of business development for our market partners. So I spoke about the C, connected, the A, autonomous. Now let's go into shared mobility. Clearly, those shuttles is one means for shared mobility, but already today, there's an increasing amount of vehicles which are owned by professionals. Whether it's fleet operators running the transportation themselves or leasing company, in the end, you have this increase in know-how in terms of how to manage the servitization and the total cost of ownership of running a professional fleet, right? So here again, it's about creating value with our partners, and this is the beauty for me of the independent aftermarket. How can we bring value together for the mobility society? And at ZF, we look into the support to the fleets at 3 layers. Number one, what is it that we have on vehicle? So the technologies that can enable emission reduction, better driving, reduction in terms of total cost of ownership, increased safety, also for the future connectivity and remote upgrades of software that will be a growing business in the aftermarket. But then once you're talking about connectivity, you can talk about direct value to our customers. The connected vehicle may derive value for the fleet, but also for the workshop or any ecosystem player playing into this servitization field, which leads to the 3rd layer, which is the ecosystem. Many people will need to communicate in order to ensure zero downtime, the best uptime possible of mobility. And for that, we need collaboration. Because let's face it, a fleet or single driver cannot have 1,000 different pieces of information or pieces of solution. They need simplicity. And simplicity will only come through collaborations and partnership through the different people of the digital ecosystem for the uptime of mobility. So it is about giving also the tools and the levers to the independent aftermarket to leave the free choice and the free will to the mobility users, whether it's a personal car driver or a fleet, to make sure that you have the balance from the best services, best quality, best uptime, and of course the free will of how to manage your maintenance. What can we bring concretely? What are we announcing as well this week is after the integration of WAPCO, we are uniting our former ZF service point, our ProTech network, and the WAPCO service partners into one holistic workshop network in support of this uptime for commercial vehicles into ZF Pro Service. Very proud of having close to 4,000 members of this network around the world, which are essential players for ensuring the uptime of good transport where we all benefit day by day. Connected, autonomous, shared. The next letter is E for electrification. And I think this is on the lips of a lot of people this week because we feel the wind of change coming from electrification very fast. I've been on the 5 continents over the last months talking, and of course, different people have different reality on the speed and the impact of this electrification. But one thing is for sure is the change has initiated very strongly. And I'm proud, again, to be in a company that not only is in the forefront of technology for electrifying the powertrain, but also, looking into our first half results, having already 23 billion of order book in terms of this electrification gives me a lot of trust that we will be a major player, not only for equipping the OEMs, but also in bringing the capabilities, the know-how, the technical solutions for the aftermarket. And when speaking about holistic servitization solutions, let's look at what happens in electrification. You're having the e-drivetrain with many components. I would be glad to show you on the other side of the stage. So we need to provide all of those hardware, right? All of these parts needs to be available through our normal aftermarket network because this is the nature of a lot of the replacement spare part business. But there's also preventive maintenance. We also have our fluids, our e-fluids under Lifeguard that ensure that you're having better robustness, better management of the wear and tear of those products, ensuring that you have better temperature control, that you have better anticipation of the stress level that you can have from high acceleration or high deceleration from those e-axles. So then it can continue going into the services. Very important, high voltage that we give the training to our ProTech network. We have this e-power module, high voltage module that we roll out to our different ProTech partners. And then what I mentioned before, in terms of connectivity, very important for the future of electrification, and going to sustainability as well, the remanufacturing capabilities of those very metal-intense parts that we need to start thinking about this reverse logistics to ensure we can give second life to these products. This is what I mean by full servitization. Going from the part to the preventive maintenance to the training, going to remote diagnostics, and thinking about the circular economy. This leads clearly to sustainability. It's our duty of all of us to think of the impact that we're having on the planet, of the world of tomorrow. And I think that each of us, in different ways in our companies, we have an agenda towards sustainability. Thinking of the energy consumption we may have, up to the way that our products behave in the field of mobility for us, also the type of product that we can have for greener mobility. Particular to the aftermarket, I think there's also a network thing, this togetherness. How do we make sure that along the chain, from part makers to distributors to installers, we can think of the reverse logistics of tomorrow, making sure that there's a green aftermarket moving forward. Some of the solutions we already have that we can build upon our legacy that contribute highly to that is, number one, I would say remanufacturing. I just mentioned it. We can save up to 90% of CO2 through a remanufactured part compared to a new part. So all of us, I think we need to make sure that we grow the awareness of the quality levels and expectation of a remanufactured product to grow the acceptance of the market and just enable a higher penetration of those solutions. Very proud of having 22 remanufacturing plants around the world so we can be close to the market and leverage that to keep having business opportunities for our customers in supporting this trend of remanufacturing. A second one is the repairs. In particular, in some parts of the world, the repairability of the product is key. And here again, you can save up to 80% of CO2 through repairs. So through our repair kits, our trainings, our diagnostics, we want to continue supporting the industry of doing repairs. And last but not least, one growing opportunity for the aftermarket is the retrofit. Retrofit used to be a hardware topic. I think in the future we need to think about it either hardware or software. We have technologies that can help saving CO2. We can equip the vehicles of today with the technologies of tomorrow. And growingly, we will be able to flash new kind of software to the vehicles. And this is where it is important that we keep digitizing the business relationship that we have across the network of the aftermarket. I hope I gave you a good sneak preview of how at ZF Aftermarket we want to accompany the changes of the industry. I think the movement of change is initiated. We need to embrace it. It's happening, but we also need to accept that while we need to get ready for tomorrow, it is very important we sustain the business of today. And this is our commitment. Be ready for tomorrow while continuing our level of excellence in terms of managing the business of today. None of that can happen alone. It is important that we keep partnering with the players of the industry to make sure that we provide that best uptime of the mobility of tomorrow, and that we invent together the servitization of the mobility ecosystem. I would like to thank you for your attention, and for the Q&As, I would invite you, we have breakout rooms right behind, so you can take it from the right. There are doors, and you will see at the entrance of the meeting rooms, there's a topics where our experts will be able to answer your questions. Thank you very much for joining.